Hello and welcome to the highest rating technology show on Channel 5.
Arousal!
This time on the Gadget Show, real hoverboards. Otis and our US reporter Shu Yue get to ride proper, real-life hoverboards.
And that's it, I'm hovering!
Amy and Otis take on a top photographer to see if tech can beat talent.
Harder than it looks, eh?
Pressed up against the glass all the time.
And later, we'll be revealing a day in the life of British internet stars, the Slow-Mo Guys, who do exactly what it says on the tin. But first, here's John with an important question.
What's the best TV format?
Even a decade ago, the only real decision to make when buying a new telly was how big to go.
But now we also have to choose whether we'd like our new telly to be HD, 4K or curved. And before you cry, what about 3D? Do bear in mind that the UK's big broadcasters have either scrapped or severely curtailed their 3D coverage, so I think it's now best to regard it merely as a bonus feature.
So, what are the differences between the sets that matter? HD has up to 2 million pixels and is the standard for high-definition TV broadcast in the UK. The newer 4K format has 4 times the pixels, but isn't yet widely broadcast.
And the next big thing could be curved. Most curved sets are also 4K, and according to the hype, offer you a more immersive viewing experience.
But as curved 4K can be twice the price of flat 4K, which is in turn a few hundred quid more than HD, is it worth spending the extra? To find out, I'm conducting my most exhaustive TV test ever.
I've got an HD, a 4K and a curved 4K. All the TVs have the same screen size. They're all made by the same manufacturer. So, comparing them side by side should reveal the differences between the formats and the formats alone.
First, I wanted the opinion of a bona fide TV expert, so I sent my sets to Digital TV Labs in Bristol. The Director of Testing Services is Simon Jarvis. Some of the world's biggest TV companies pay him to analyse and develop their sets. But today, he'd be comparing my tellies side by side.
That's when it really highlights the differences, and you can see whether one is hiding errors better than the other, or whether the colour is not as bright or not quite right.
Most UK TV broadcasts are still in standard definition, so Simon examined each set's SD performance first.
So here we can see that the 2 flat screens are both presenting the spinning red balls much more clearly than the curved one is. On the curved screen there was some noise and some edges that could be seen there, and that meant that it looked much nicer on the flat screen.
The curved set was also disappointing when Simon played HD footage.
On some of the moving parts of the video, the flat 4K and the HD screen presented that much more smoothly.
And then it was on to a 4K video. As the HD set couldn't play it at all, it was a shootout between the flat and curved 4K TVs.
And you'll see that the red on the curved here is a bit brighter, a bit more vibrant than the flat screen. But that's normally something that can be controlled in the menu, so the user can customise that depending on how they like it.
In terms of picture quality and accuracy, there was no benefit in having a curved screen. So, after extensive testing, Simon's verdict was clear.
I think if it were up to me, I'd probably go with the flat 4K, because it's future-proof and will handle 4K content as that comes about. And also, as I said, the SD content looks better on the flat screen than on the curved 4K.
But I didn't want to rely on the lab tests alone.
Of course, TV should inspire a human emotional response as well, which is what I'm going to measure next in my public panel arousal test.
I wanted to find out if the curved set really was more immersive, as is claimed. So I asked Gowan Morrison from Sensum, a company who specialise in monitoring emotional engagement, to measure exactly how each TV affected its audience.
So we took the skin conductance of the respondent, and then we looked at how aroused they were, a measurement of their emotional engagement.
As we become aroused, our sweat levels subtly increase. By measuring these changes, Gowan will be able to determine which TV is the most engaging to watch. With everybody wired up, the test began. I played 2 videos on HTV, some shots of nature designed to soothe, and high-octane footage designed to excite. And as I wanted to measure the effects of each set's picture rather than sound quality, I muted each TV. Once the test was over, it was time for Gowan to reveal the results, starting with those for the soothing images.
So here's the data. What do the different coloured graphs represent?
So the green is for the 4K curved, the purple is for the 4K flat, and the light blue is for the HD. You can see actually that the 2 4K experiences are very similar, but a very clear differentiation between those and the HD. Large amount of engagement and arousal at the outset, and then throughout it's a complete settling across that, both the 4K experiences.
The excitement levels for the 4K and curved TVs dropped as the soothing natural video progressed. This proved that the formats were having the desired effect. The longer they watched, the calmer the viewers became. The same video on the HD telly had far less of an effect.
What about the action stuff?
So you can see actually when we kick off, 4K curved has that higher level of engagement. The 4K flat and the HD are fairly similar.
But the impact of the curved screen's picture quality quickly faded.
But about 90 seconds in, the effect of the 4K curved has ceased a little now. They're all just about the content experience.
Right, so you do get a bit of extra arousal with that curved 4K experience on the action footage, but it only lasts about 90 seconds and then the action takes over.
Exactly, exactly.
So, curved TVs don't appear to be good value. They can cost twice the price of a flat set, but any initial wow factor doesn't last. Having heard from the expert, seen the results from the public panel, and taking price into account, I have to say that a flat 4K TV is the one to go for.
Thanks, John. That's one less thing to worry about. Now, before the break, there's just time for a funny video we found online.
Here's a top tip. When taking drone footage, always make sure you haven't strayed into the territory of an Australian wedge-tailed eagle. Ah, you had there, you see. Better luck next time. The eagle was fine, by the way.
Right, that's the end of part 1, but do come back if you love Jason.
I shot you. Oh, I found that.
Because he's in the next bit.
Oh, man, that's brilliant.
Welcome back. It's all about part 2 now. Hey! Earlier we had this.
Arousal! But it only lasts about 90 seconds.
Later we've got this.
Matches, fish tank, crossbow.
But right now, here's this. We're back at Gadget Help HQ with toy enthusiast Stuart Witts from Surrey.
Gadgeteers, I need your help. People collect all sorts of things. I collect toys. And I haven't seen a decent electronic toy since the days of Big Track. So find me something that'll bring me joy, make me feel young again, or simply make me go... My budget is £150. I can't wait to see what you found.
No pressure then. After a period of extensive research, Stuart was invited along to the Gadget Help HQ, where Amy, Jason and I would compete to persuade him that each of our suggestions was the best.
I'm up first, and this is my friend, Mechanoid, a Meccano robot. Here he is. Say hello to everyone.
Yes, the Mechanoid G15 from Meccano is the perfect toy for kids young and old. It has over 1,000 pre-programmed phrases, will respond to voice commands and can mimic your movements and sounds.
I am your personal robot.
Not only that, but it can walk with you, shake hands and high five.
High five. Konnichiwa.
Nice. Otis. No! I like it!
He basically comes in a box, small little parts. You can then build him Sunday afternoon with your son or daughter, and within probably a few hours, have a friend for life. So there we are. What do you reckon, Stuart?
I think Mechanoid's really cool, actually. Yeah. It's really great to see a robot that's quite big. Kind of, it reminds me of Johnny Five.
All right, calm down.
Okay.
Thanks.
There's no doubt that Amy has started with a strong pitch, but I think I've got something that will really get Stuart's pulse racing.
This is called Anki Overdrive. Oh, man, that's brilliant!
The Anki Overdrive app-controlled race cars should be right up Stuart's street. The track can be easily assembled into lots of shapes, and the cars will then scan the course themselves. It then uploads the route onto your smartphone while simultaneously figuring out the theoretical maximum performance.
Oh, okay.
Now look, that's the accelerator there, move it up and down, and you control your position on the road, moving the handset left and right.
Okay.
Yeah. Unlike a lot of slot racing solutions where youngsters in particular have a problem, the car's sliding off every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
These cars have a kind of automated AI about them, keeping the cars on the track. There are lots of different weapons that you can use. I shot you.
Oh, I found that.
Yeah, got you there. Lots of different gaming modes, lots of different cars available, you know, electronic, but with a digital component. There you go. What do you think?
Well, it's certainly much more fun than Scalextrics used to be. It's really good to have them stay on the tracks. And the shooting stuff, I love that. My son would love that as well.
Jason and Amy had every right to feel pretty pleased with themselves, but I was confident too. Because unlike them, I'd thought outside the box, or should that be inside the cube? This is a 3D printer. It's called the Cube. Now, first off, I know what you're thinking, Stuart. This is way over my budget.
Yes.
Okay, and you're correct. It is way over your budget. But what Amy and Jason have both done is they've shown you ways you can build with your children and then enjoy down the line. Okay, but it's the same toy. Here we have a 3D printer where you can build your own toys to your heart's content. The Cube by Cubify can print wirelessly from laptops, tablets and smartphones, and the Cube app allows you to print existing designs as well as your own creations. If you look here, I built a rocket, but I was able to customize and put an alien face on it there. Then it looks like nobody else's rocket. Now, I printed that over 7 hours, and they're fairly solid, very lightweight.
No, I have to say, it is quite cool.
Thank you. And the only limit is your imagination. What are we going to build today, Dad? Can you imagine their little faces? And they'll literally sit in front of it like a television, waiting for their toy to be built.
Bored stiff.
No, I can't really imagine my children watching this for...
OK, fine.
Well, we'd all given Stuart our best pictures. Now it's time for him to choose which of the 3 gadgets he'd like to buy. Will he go for my high-fiving, happy-chappy robot?
Or will he plump for my Anki Overdrive app-controlled race cars?
Or will Stuart opt for his very own toy factory? Over to you, Stuart.
I thought very hard about all 3 of these. I have made a decision. And the winner is... the Meccano Mechanoid.
I think actually it does answer your brief.
Yes.
Perfectly. It's not too digital, it's got a finesse of digital about it, but actually it's electronic, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's a wonderful thing. And it's just cute thing to look at as well.
Buildable, he's going to give you hours of friendship and fun. You've made the right decision.
Sorry about your printer, Otis, but...
Hey, no apologies.
Can I keep this?
No, you can't.
I knew he'd go for the robot. Anyway, moving on. Next, it's the first part of Amy and Otis's photography challenge in sunny Brighton.
Our seaside task was to take on a professional snapper using the very latest in cutting-edge photography tech.
Award-winning street photographer Heather Buckley was our rival.
So the challenge is to take 3 photographs that sum up Brighton. Its vibrancy, its unique nature. That's
Piece of cake, yeah. I'm from Brighton, from here. This is where my stopping ground is. I take most of my best shots in Brighton. Well, good luck.
Yeah.
You'll need it.
Yeah. We'd display our best 3 photos back at our Gadget HQ, where an expert judge would decide who had best fulfilled the brief.
Heather rushed off with local knowledge and 25 years of experience.
While we walked the planks of Brighton's pier with a plan.
So we know Heather has got incredible artistic photography skills.
Yeah. But there's one skill she doesn't have, she's not good at. Flying.
Yes, I did say flying, because we'd packed a DJI Inspire 1, perhaps the best camera drone on the market.
Looking good. So with CAA permission granted, and with Heather stuck firmly to the ground, we were flying with the gulls.
I think the seagulls think they've got a new friend.
I played pilot and chased the action. The Inspire is a dream to fly. It features auto takeoff and landing, and even has a GPS lock so you can hover in one place when you need stability to take your shot.
And I was the one taking the photos.
Nice.
The dual controls on the Inspire meant that I could do this using an app on my iPad. The camera is also controlled through the app, letting me rotate through 360 degrees and tilt the camera up and down.
There's no way Miss Professional will be able to get up there.
We'd got off to a flying start.
I like the light on that.
But Heather was pounding the streets with something we lacked: artistic creativity.
I use reflections all the time. I love symmetry. Quite often you'll see me with my wide-angle lens pressed up against the glass, and then you'll get a double image.
We needed to retaliate, so unleashed our second gadget, the Nikon 1 V3.
It has the world's fastest burst mode at up to 60 photos per second. It's designed to let you capture one single perfect frame when shooting fast action.
Amy, that's fantastic.
But our plan was to use all the images in a burst to create a montage that screamed Brighton.
Carousel fee, see?
It was good, but we could do better.
I'd love to get a seagull flying over us. It's going to be like that.
Yes. Nothing says Brighton more than a seagull on a pebble beach.
Oh, that could have looked good.
Meanwhile, not flapping around at all, was Heather.
Love the shadow. I use a wide-angle lens on my camera a lot. I love the kind of dynamic diagonals it gives you, but when you use a wide-angle lens, you usually have to get up really close to your subject, otherwise they're going to be really small in the frame. He's a good boy. Also with the wide-angle lens, I try and line up things with the corners of the frame because it makes a really strong composition, pulling your eye into the subject.
Our technique was less refined.
Now.
But finally, we had our seagull snaps in the bag.
That's not half bad.
Our last gadget was a radical light field camera, the Lytro Illume. This allows you to change the focus point of a photo after you've taken it.
Sounds tricky.
So I think the best way to get the most out of that is to take a picture of a scene with lots of depth to it.
Yeah.
So maybe like a busy street. Works best if it's a really wide shot.
Instead of capturing colour information like a normal camera, the Lytro captures light rays.
How about getting the bikes up here?
For the best effect, it's good to have something close in the foreground and other objects in the far distance.
So the blue shows you everything that's considered foreground. The orange will show you everything that's considered background.
It's fair to say that this isn't like a traditional point-and-shoot camera. There's a lot to learn to get the most out of the Lytro, and we didn't have much time for practice.
Harder than it looks, eh?
Absolutely.
While Heather was explaining the importance of patience.
Often with things like this, with the graffiti, I could stand here for maybe 3/4 of an hour waiting for people to walk past, and the right sort of person in the right colours, the right style. You know, if you framed it properly and you wait long enough, then you're going to get a good shot out of it at the end of the day.
We wanted the judge to be able to choose the focus point of our photo.
So you can see the whole thing's out of focus at the moment. I'm going to tap this lady here.
That's now more in focus.
That's what I'm talking about.
But taking a shot that allowed this was almost impossible.
No.
The light is just beautiful.
It felt like we'd fallen at the last hurdle.
Yeah, I'm rapidly going off this camera.
Yeah.
We'd taken 400 photos between us, but we'd only be allowed to display 3 each to be judged. Join us later to find out if us and our tech managed to beat the pro.
Have you made a decision?
Yes, I have, yeah.
Right, time for the ads. And if you're nipping off for a comfort break before part 3, here's an app that may interest you.
Whoductive is a social media app which lets you fill your toilet time by chatting with others anywhere in the world who are also on the loo. It does have a serious side. The app's also intended to raise awareness of the plight of the 663 million people worldwide who don't have access to clean water. So, if you do take your phone to the loo, you can now poop for a purpose.
If you want to find out more about all of the tech featured in the show, or if you need some gadget help, log on to our wonderful website at channel5.com/gadget show and you'll find all the info you need. That's all for this part, but coming up, your dreams of being Marty McFly could soon come true.
Oh my goodness! That's it, I'm hovering.
Because we found 2 real-life hoverboards.
Hey! Hey!
How would you describe the Gadget Show?
You film almost everything backwards.
It's quite private, there's no one looking into camera.
Oh, yeah. It looks good enough to eat, doesn't it?
OK, thank you very much. Anyway, next up, Otis and Shu Yue with the ultimate gadget dream that is now an amazing reality.
This is what we've all been waiting for.
Future.
A concept first shown in the film Back to the Future 2 in 1989. A form of personal transport which at last has finally become a reality.
Damn, I'm late!
We're talking hoverboards, mate! Yes, the iconic piece of tech ridden by Marty McFly in Back to the Futures 2 and 3. This cult classic sci-fi trilogy made a bold statement about the future of personal transport. But my goodness, it's been a long time coming. In fairness, here at the Gadget Show, we've done our bit over the years to try and make progress hoverwise. And nowadays, even car manufacturer Lexus, among others, is trying to get a project off the ground. Luckily for us, though, a couple of hoverboards have at last made it to the working prototype stage. Keen to have a go, the Gadget Show's US reporter Shu Yue headed to the one in Canada, while I tracked down a version lurking in Silicon Valley, USA.
Pleasure to meet you.
Otis, likewise.
This is the amazing Hendo hoverboard, the brainchild of ArxPack's company boss Greg Henderson, who has tapped into an impressive but unexploited technology and called it magnetic field architecture, or MFA for short.
It glides so smoothly, so easily. Oh, wow. So there's a resistance to me trying to push it onto the surface. It's hovering, and this is obviously the frictionless movement that you've been after.
Exactly, Otis.
Greg ultimately wants to design and construct buildings that hover off the floor at the flick of a switch. Imagine that.
Over in Sutton, eastern Canada, I was about to meet the man who designed a whole different sort of hoverboard, Alex Duru. Alex and his impressive electric propeller-driven machine are the current Guinness World Record holders for the longest hoverboard flight ever, at a whopping 276 meters. How would you describe how this works?
Well, it's based on many technologies that were used in drones. They were adapted and improved so that they can deal with the amount of power that is necessary to lift such a large payload.
How do you maneuver this?
It's your body. You use your body. It becomes an extension of your body.
So be one with it. Love it. Go with it. Don't fight it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back at ArxPack's, I was getting ready for my maiden voyage on a hoverboard. And boy was I excited, but also a little bit nervous. But mainly excited, but still very nervous.
You know me and my learning curves with things like this, except there is nothing like this. So, yeah, let me grab my helmet. Oh my goodness! That's it, I'm hovering. So it's a lot more stable than I would have thought. Oh my God, it's so smooth. And I can also feel it wants to go fast. It's fantastic.
Want to know how I'm floating an inch off the floor? Well, here's the sciencey bit. Underneath the board are 4 carbon fibre discs containing magnets of alternating polarity. Lithium-ion batteries are used to spin these 4 discs at super high speed, causing the magnet to generate an opposing field in the copper sheet floor. And it's these powerful repelling forces that provide the lifting effect.
It's like flying, floating, ice skating, all of that. It's just... this is fantastic. You know, I'm this emotional about it, and all I'm essentially doing is going back and forth.
Whilst Otis had almost mastered the art of hoverboarding on the Hendo, I had a lot more training to do. I needed to prove that I could fly Alex's hoverboard safely on land before he let me anywhere near the water.
I feel like a stunt woman. Oh, this harness is not comfortable, that's for sure. Now it's the time?
Now it's time.
Here I go. 3, 2, 1.
I just had to pull the throttle on the handheld controller, and the 8 12-inch propeller blades roared into action. 16 high-power lithium-ion batteries spin the blades at 5,000 RPM, generating a combined thrust of over 1,000 newtons. A simple concept, but a difficult beast to tame.
Okay, we're good. A little swinging. I feel one with the machine, but I do feel at some point I start swaying a little bit.
Yeah, at some point you lose your balance. We're gonna have to work on that.
All right, okay. I feel good.
While Shuyue was swinging in the trees,
I'm gonna get this.
I was hovering firmly above ground and ready to try a few moves. Currently, you can't control your speed or direction on the Hendo, so I had to rely on the guys to give me a hand with the twirly bits.
Trying to turn a bit there, see that? Hey, hey!
The Hendo was so close to everything I dreamed about as a kid, watching Marty McFly outrun the bad guys on his futuristic hoverboard.
But I still needed a bit of encouragement from Alex.
I think you're gonna be able to get it.
Okay.
As I kept trying to get my hoverboard under control. And after a hard couple of hours, I finally done it. I was ready for the open water. Woohoo!
Oh, that felt so good.
Yes.
I think I got it.
Yeah.
But then the unthinkable happened.
Oh my God.
An overheated motor had burst into flames, calling an end to all flying.
I'm pretty bummed. I'm really disappointed that I wasn't able to hover over water, but I'm proud of myself for being able to get off the ground and really go for it.
While both of these hoverboard technologies are radically different, they both give a real taste of a future that isn't that far away.
Woo!
Great Scott!
Right, cue the marching band. Splendid. And they're playing now specifically to herald the start of another incredible gadget show competition. Yeah, he's listening now, isn't he? And you'd better listen up too, people, because one of you is going to win this lot.
Right, let's kick things off with not 1, not 2, not even 3 state-of-the-art tellies and a 4 goggle boxes sound. A 65-inch curved 4K smart TV with a wireless keyboard plus a 55-inch 4K TV, a 48-inch 3D TV with 2 pairs of glasses and a 32-inch smart TV. And to keep your bottom nice and comfy, we're also throwing in a motorised leather Lazy Boy reclining chair.
And for content, a 2TB Sky Plus box with a year subscription to Sky's top TV package, Virgin's top-speed broadband package available in your area, and a new-gen Dolby Atmos surround sound system, plus a Wi-Fi pocket projector with built-in Freeview, a UView box, Roku 3 media streamer, and a year subscription to Spotify Premium.
Next, a trio of smartphones. An iPhone 6S Plus, an HTC One M9 with dot view ice case, and a Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge curved smartphone.
Now my favourite section, photography. A Canon 6D DSLR with lens kit and 128GB Extreme CF card. A Panasonic TZ70 30x zoom pocket camera. A Polaroid mobile printer. A Nikon compact rugged waterproof camera with 128GB SD card. DJI's 4K shooting Phantom 3 Pro drone. Plus a GoPro GoPro 4 Black Edition with a smart remote, LCD backpack and 64GB micro SD card.
And now my favourite tech, gaming gadgets. A PS4 with camera pack, PS TV and PS Vita Slim with 16GB memory card. An Xbox One with Kinect, TV tuner and 12 months of gold membership. A Nintendo Wii U and 3DS XL. Games for all the consoles plus an Nvidia Shield Android TV.
And the gaming goodies continue with an Alienware Area 51 top-spec gaming PC with Samsung 28-inch 4K gaming monitor, Logitech gaming surround sound and gaming keyboard, and an Oculus Rift VR headset as soon as possible after launch. Boom!
We're also giving away 3 high-end bikes. A giant 29er mountain bike, electric bike and Defy Advanced road bike with foldable helmet, Blaze laser light and Garmin bike computer. Plus, we'll also throw in an Evolve electric bamboo skateboard. And so that your car doesn't feel left out, we've got an Apple CarPlay in-car entertainment system with Pioneer speaker package, a Garmin dashcam, TomTom's top-of-the-range Go 6100 sat-nav with world maps, and a premium Copilot Europe app for iOS.
Right, computers next, and we're talking serious grunt. A Windows 10 Dell XPS 13 laptop with leather sleeve, a 27-inch iMac with Retina 5K display and Magic trackpad, an Intel NUC with a blazing fast Core i7 processor plus a Logitech illuminated keyboard, a Toshiba Chromebook, and Apple's latest MacBook in gold.
But we're not done there. Oh no, we've also got an iPad Air 2 with leather smart cover, £250 of iTunes vouchers, a Microsoft Surface Pro 3 with Office 365 free for a year, an Epson all-in-one wireless printer, a 512GB USB stick, a Synology home media server with 8TB of storage, and a Kindle Voyage e-reader. That's a lot of processing power.
And this is a whole lot of oral power. A Sonos soundbar with subwoofer and 5-room wireless music system, a UE Roll waterproof Bluetooth speaker, a pair of Bose Bluetooth on-ear headphones and Beats in-ear headphones, plus a DAB Wi-Fi internet radio with Spotify Connect.
And if your pulse wasn't racing yet, this lot will certainly get it going. A fold-in interactive treadmill, including 1 year's subscription to iFit, so you can run anywhere in the world from the comfort of your home. A Fitbit Charge HR, a pair of Jabra Sports Coach wireless headphones, a Polar waterproof GPS sports watch, including heart rate monitor and stride sensor. And if that lot wasn't enough, how does an Apple Watch Sport tickle your fancy?
Completing your total tech makeover is a Bosch dishwasher and steam washing machine, a Dyson cordless vacuum cleaner, a Miele RoboVac, an Elgato smart home kit so you can monitor and control your home from anywhere in the world, a Tefal Actifry Plus, and a Smeg fridge freezer.
A Husqvarna robotic lawnmower, a Karcher top-of-the-line pressure washer, an app-controlled coffee machine, a connected iKettle, a NutriBullet Pro juicer, a Weber Premium gas barbecue, a Samsung smart oven, a Kenwood all-in-one food mixer, 1 month self-storage to put all your prizes in, and your very own 3D printer. Plus, because we know you're such big fans of the show, we're also giving away 4 tickets to Gadget Show Live 2016, including premium Super Theatre seats to be taken on any day during the event between the 31st of March and the 3rd of April at the NEC in Birmingham.
What an unbelievable mountain of tech, and this one's worth over, wait for it, £48,500. Did you hear that right? 48.5 grand. And not only that, it's the highest value prize fund we've ever given away to just one person, and that lucky person could be you.
To be in with a chance of winning, all you have to do is text Gadget to 85555 or call 0902 055 5000 or post your name and contact number to The Gadget Show 2201, PO Box 7557, Derby, DE1 0NP.
Text costs £2 plus 1 message at standard network rate. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Lines close at midday on the date shown on the screen and 3 days later for postal entries. For rules, go to channel5.com/win, and we'll repeat this information again at the end of the show. Nearly time for the final break now, but first a huge treat for you Star Wars fans. This is BB-8, a brand new state-of-the-art droid straight from the set of The Force Awakens that you control through an app on your smartphone. He has an adaptive personality and responds to the tone of your voice and the way you interact with him. He also works autonomously and explores his environment on his own. You can make up adventures for him and even view holographic recordings, just like Episode 4 always promised us. It's the final break in the show now, but we'll be back in a flash to see what develops, in this week's photography challenge.
Flamethrower, aquarium, fish tank.
And And we're going to meet internet sensations, the slow-mo guys.
Squirrel food.
Don't touch that remote, cowboy. Welcome back. It's time to meet our latest internet star. Or should I say stars? Back in 2010, two Brits wondered if anyone would be interested in watching super slow-mo clips on YouTube. 6 million subscribers and over 630 million views later, I think it's safe to say they are.
We are the slow-mo guys, and we make super slow-motion videos using Phantom cameras. I was a freelance camera operator in the UK. There would just be these times at the weekends where we weren't doing anything, and this amazing, expensive, high-speed camera was just sat there, so I asked if I could borrow them for the weekend. This is the Phantom Flex 4K. It's quite a new one. It's basically very high resolution at 1,000 frames a second. For filming with slow motion, you need a lot of light. The more light, the more frames per second you can get. This is actually set right now to 25 frames a second, which is standard English TV. And as you can see, as soon as I start rising the frame rate up, you see the image just gets darker and darker and darker until we're at 1,000 frames a second. But thankfully, due to the sun, it looks great.
I usually like to leave the filming to Gavin.
I have to work the camera, right?
That's his excuse.
I think it's a valid excuse.
That's his excuse. I'm happy being in the videos, being the subject of the video. You see the state of his lab coat, he might get splashed occasionally with a bit of paint and then complain about it, whereas I'm just caked in the stuff.
The boys started their online video empire with a very simple offering, the slow-motion slap around the face. This video amassed a whopping 1.2 million views. Since then, Gavin and Dan have produced over 100 super slow-mo videos for their YouTube channel, with the most popular being them bouncing around on a big red water balloon. Over 103 million people have watched this cinematic masterpiece. The mind boggles.
In this video, we are going to shove a drill bit through a piece of white card, right?
Yeah, we're going to cover it in lots of different colours of paint and hopefully get some nice swirly patterns.
We'll film it at 1,000 frames a second using the Phantom Flex 4K. So definitely watch this in 4K if you can. It'll be
crisp.
Glorious and crisp. All right, do it.
You ready?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool.
I never press go on the camera. The camera's always running, and then when I hit the button, it stops, and you have the previous 4 seconds. That is cool. Exactly what we want. Look at those circles.
Just as soon as it starts spinning, it doesn't do anything, and then after a few spins, it really gets going, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It looks good enough to eat, doesn't it? I think more paint next time.
More paint?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so this is our sort of art department prop shed. We've actually got everything ranging from sort of garden equipment to Lego, mouse traps and...
Flamethrower?
Yeah, flamethrower.
We have a list. It's probably over 100 items on this list that we're slowly working through.
Matches.
Crossbow.
Fish tank. Airbags. Condoms. We've sort of got through the easy ones, we're now getting to more difficult ones. So we used to be able to shoot maybe 8 in a day. Now we can film like 2 or 3 in a day, just because the setup is longer.
So this is where I edit all the videos. This stuff is looking lovely. The most time-consuming part of the editing is adding of the sound effects. The Phantom doesn't record any sound. So typically I'll download some sound effects, retime the real-time sound effects, or just make some sound effect with my mouth that kind of matches. All right, thanks for watching that video, and we'll see you in the next one.
A prime example there of man suffering in the name of art. Now, it's time to rejoin this week's photography challenge, where Otis and I are going up against a pro with only tech on our side.
Harder than it looks, hey?
Absolutely.
We'd spent the day in Brighton shooting our portfolio, and now it was Judgment Day.
Both us and our pro photographer Heather Buckley had chosen our 3 best photographs, and now it was time to present them in what we thought was the most creative and effective way possible.
Adam Scory, a judge for the Professional Photographer of the Year competition, would decide whose portfolio best captured Brighton.
And to avoid any bias, the photos were displayed anonymously. Heather was photographer A.
I like the way the timing has caught the sun on the girl's face. I really like that. It really brings out her expression. This captures a lot of the elements of Brighton for me. We've got beach, and then of course we've got the pier.
But he didn't think Heather's photos were perfect.
Do you know what? It doesn't excite me, if I'm honest. It doesn't grab me by the emotion that a picture should do.
So we were in with a chance. First was our shot of Brighton Pier that we took using the DJI Inspire 1 drone.
It's the composition in this image that lets it down more than anything else. This is dominant and it's scruffy and messy.
Bummer. But maybe the unusual way we'd presented our second image would win him over. Using the Nikon 1V3 camera's super fast burst mode, we'd taken 40 photos of a seagull and then presented them in a flick book. Huh? Clever.
Great fun. Really great fun. Does it sum up Brighton? Yeah, I suppose in a way it does, yeah.
Our final image was a photo we'd taken on the Lytro Illume, which, when viewed on our iPad, should let Adam choose where he wanted the focus to be.
It's a charming picture, it really is charming. It's like an instant moment, it's quite private, there's no one looking into camera.
Judging over, we were all summoned for the verdict.
Have you made a decision?
Yes, I have, yeah.
Okay. Let us know, please.
We want to know!
Well, let me tell you a little bit of my thoughts. So photographer A for me, there was a balance, there was a story, there was a narrative shining through out of the images. Photographer B, there was a bit more fun in terms of the approach, and I would say probably less technically able in composition. So for me, it's photographer A.
Well done.
There isn't really such thing as a bad picture because you can say something positive about any image that's taken. So I think take heart from that. What I saw was charming and with a few tweaks, and it wouldn't take long to do that. I'm sure Heather could give you a few tips, actually.
Yeah. So we'd lost, but to an incredible competitor.
Well, it just goes to show that while tech can do many things, it can't make you an artist.
That's all for now, but if you'd like to watch the show again, or indeed catch up on any of our previous episodes, then log on to Demand 5.
But don't go anywhere just yet, as here's another chance to get your hands on the biggest value gadget show competition we've ever given away to just one person, worth over a mouth-watering £48,500.
To be in with a chance of winning, all you have to do is text Gadget to 85555 or call 0902 055 5000 or post your name and contact number to The Gadget Show 2201, PO Box 7557, Derby, DE1 0NP.
Text costs £2 plus one message at standard network rate. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Lines close at midday on the date shown on the screen and 3 days later for postal entries. The rules go to channel5.com/win. Goodbye and good luck.
Indeed, the very best of luck. Until hoverboards become mainstream, a souped-up hatchback is still the Terraway's transportation of choice, and they're just as difficult to control. New police interceptors are on their tail in just a moment after the news headlines on Channel 5.